guess it's always. Oh, I have this one. I will fix this, and it's done pretty good in regards to the not overheating. Okay. So, winter time in regards of my solar panels. Here we have my SunPower solar panels, and of course the idea with these solar panels was in regards of course getting some kind of power for the EB70, so I could take the electricity and all that, but I still am on electricity. But of course, this is the idea, of course, was to take it. Of course, I still have the other one from the other apartment right there in smashed to multiple pieces of the criminal acts and all that. I've been working on this little slim client. Usually it uses like 3 to 7 watts, but of course that's only the unit. Then of course you have the screen. Of course I haven't found a. There's a website for low screen, what do you call it, for low, this is annoying, let's see if I can, I don't know if I can actually make it stop doing all this, but yeah, anyway, well, let's check in the other one. It's not totally quick as the other one, but at least it doesn't have this, but anyway, give me a break, apparently it does somewhat of the same. Maybe I can do it like this, maybe put it over there, and see if this helps. Manually. Oh, that was dark. I guess maybe it will. See here. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, oh, come on, stop doing that. Anyway, oh yes, it's not totally fluent, but it's an old phone. I guess I can also run. Hasn't it turned around or something like that? Or maybe it's locked in regards of. No, it does have rotation. Oh, it does seem to be rotated, but the icon hasn't rotated. Anyway, so I got this little juicy, slim client thing that I've been working on. It's like a CD-ROM fixed on top of and all that. And I have a little meter down here somewhere. There we go. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, that's the meter. I guess you can't really see much. But it says around 10 watts at the moment. It's a little depend, I'm trying a graphic thing that takes a little power that is not really necessary, but just testing the compatibility of software. If I'm going to use it for something else, I have the ability to at least have the applications to know what works and doesn't work using Windows 7 and all that. So I'm testing that. I have this thing that shows that if it's activated or not, but yeah, so here's my LGV70, and the moment I'm just charging it, and apparently it's because it's I don't have the right one. Apparently I've turned on the charging, but I haven't put it in. Now it should begin to charge now. Yeah, 171 watts, and now it's charging from the device. Of course there are things that I'm running on this EB70 that, like this thing, that I don't really need. That's only because I have 2 computers fixed to it and all that, and of course I would only need to have one device turned on and all that. A low power, like this thing that runs very, usually it run around 3 to 7 watts, which is a lot better than a standard huge computer. Of course, it's it's slower, right? But yeah. But anyway, in the winter time, I would have hoped that these could actually give some power, but as far as I understood it, they were actually the best for the price point and in regards to the efficiency. I looked at some of the others in regards of the power film as well, where they, the same footprint of size, but 30 watts. Now it's going to turn off here. So the thing is that footprint in regards to the power film, but they only get 30 watts. And I was looking at some tests in regards of the power film compared to these kind of solar panels. and these pretty much won out. Although I guess when they were tested, the sun was higher on the sky. In Denmark, we have, the sun is just, it's actually over here, and it's like coming up here and just going, going up and that. Maybe I should, wind camera or something like that. It just comes around here, right? Starts over here and just comes up, and then it pretty much goes down somewhere around there. So I don't really get any direct light into these, because the sun is as it is at the moment, and it's very, very bad. I don't know, the sun should, I guess, be coming up soon, but as you can see, also the weather in Denmark is gray, gray, gray. Oh, is that the sun out there? I can't really see the sun. Oh, maybe no, that's my headlight. Okay. It does seem like there's light right outside, so the sun must be maybe, I guess I can see it on the mobile. Let's see here. Let's see. No, it's. Let's see here. Sun. Rise 8:24. If I've set it to the right collection. 8:24, so okay, so like 6 minutes the sun should be getting up. But I thought, if in regards to indirect sun, that the indirect sun should at least give some, and in the time where the sun is a little further up, it tends to actually give something, right? But in the winter time, I'm just not. I put it in the machine, right, and I'm getting like, the machine is turning on the display that it usually does when it begins to charge, because there's nothing to actually just have the thing just always on and all that. So when it activates, it turns on. So when you have this activation of turning, not getting any power and getting power, it turns on and off and on and off and on and off. Very annoying, but that's just how it is. But when it turns on, for the most part, it doesn't show anything charging. I don't even get 1 single watt out of these. And these are both panels 110 watts, so that's 220 watts. And it's just, it's just not doing much, to say the least. I have other solar panels that I tried. I haven't really fixed them up compared to, because now I had these fried in. But I do have some other glass things out here, but I might be moving soon anyway. So I'm looking into. I've just gotten an offer for another apartment, which actually might have the windows in that direction, which of course is the best direction in regards to sun panels. So and it's a apartment that is a lot cheaper than what it's a lot of resources that I can save. It's a very small apartment, but I guess I don't need much anyway, so it's the smallest apartment I ever would have had, but I should be able to sort things out. I don't know how much smaller it would really, it's like a 4 meter times 4 meters. I don't know I can't remember how big this one is, but yeah. But it's very cheap, so you have some place to sleep, maybe make some food and all that. There's no what do you call it, but I guess you can open up the windows like here, but I'm not sure if you're actually allowed to do any cooking or anything like that, but I guess you maybe could. Well, I guess, maybe you could actually, if as long as and have, pretty control, you could probably fix something. Just open the windows and then, I don't know. Well, I have to look into that. But yeah, these, and by the way, these SunPower apparently has, as I understand it, they stopped producing these panels. So they make something else. Well, hopefully they are as good as the others or something like that. They're pretty good, in regards to these panels. When the sun really begins to come over and all that, they do actually produce a good amount. of power. So I guess at some point in the spring they will begin to produce a good amount of power. Now of course the big machine, I don't, that drains the battery in around 5 hours, but the small machine can run a lot longer on a full battery. So when I get to around spring, it will be able to begin to fill the battery up. But of course, I'm probably not here when that happens, because I'm either going to move into one apartment or the other apartment. So I've just again gotten an offer for a very cheap apartment, but it's like in the middle of everything. So you have like upstairs, downstairs, and side stairs and all that, and that might be a lot of noise around, and that's kind of not good. So I have a little solar panel over there connected with 2 batteries. That actually works in the summertime, where you can actually charge small batteries without any issue, pretty much. And you can just flip that. There's enough sun to actually, make small batteries for the light to actually. But it doesn't work in the winter time. I do have some bigger panels I actually should try to put on. That, as far as I recall, they were at least better. To actually charge the small batteries. And then of course I have the huge panel, which I found out that was actually pretty much worse. And there was something wrong with at least the connection in regards of the USB wasn't really as good, was actually on the same level as the other 2. So I have a good amount of solar panels, I guess, I can use and fix up, and as long as I have windows and all that for doing it. As far as I understand it, I think I might have 4 windows in the other apartment that I've been. So I would need to look into that at that point. But of course, it's probably in that direction. I have the windows, and that's of course a lot better for generating power. But it's not something where I feel like it's still underdimensioned in some sense. It's not like really, so at the moment I've been charging the battery from the plug, and as I'm doing at the moment, and it charges 191 watts at the moment. It's using around 7 watts at the moment, so I guess it's not that much. And it's running the machine down there, and it's running the hub over there. So again, the hub, of course, I can take away, but that's only because I'm running 2 machines, and so it can connect with the 2 machines at the moment for the internet. Of course, you could also actually, I guess, make one of the computers to make if you have. Well, it needs another network thing, but then you could use one for a gateway or something like that. But maybe save a little energy. I'm not entirely sure how much energy that uses over there, but again, less things means less energy consumption. So so I don't know. Of course, I didn't expect to run much with these solar panels. I just as long as I can get light for my headlight, I can read books, and I have lots of books to read and all that, lots of information. You can't be bored in this world. There's, if anyone is bored, I can't. It's hard to believe that anyone in this world, with all these things we have around us, could be bored, because there's so many things to do, so many things to research, so many lies and deceptions and all that. So there's just no time for boredom, that's for sure. There's always something to do. There's way too much to do. I'm totally overburdened in regards to what, because we have been lied to on so many levels, and there's so many things I want to do, and yet, you get boggled down by so many things. But anyway, I've been toying around with the Slim client and fixed the Windows 7 installation, and I actually made a guide for that, but they censored and deleted that guide on the forum, and sadly I was so stupid to write the guide directly on the forum and not have a copy. So after using a whole day trying to get all the guide things and easy installation for other people if they wanted a very cheap unit for running Windows 7, well, that was out the window and I haven't looked further into. I was so close thinking, oh, finally I can just drop all these things. Finally I can just move on to another project, right? Finally I'm pretty much finished with this and can just move on. But no, they deleted it, they censored me, they banned me from the MSFN forum or whatever it's called. Without any, without telling me why, So, thanks for that, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised, you get censored on so many levels, on forums and all that, and, but yeah, not very satisfied, and of course the weather in Denmark it is the worst conditions. Of course you have, you had a little blue yesterday, but overall this is what you see in Denmark. This is standard Danish weather. I don't know why anyone would come to Denmark and live in Denmark besides maybe because of, being a rich nation or whatever, or you still have the butchering, medical mafia and all that. But yeah, that's the weather in Denmark, typical weather. Well, at the moment it's not raining, but as you can see it's moist out there. So it has rained at some point, and then we have the train and all that. But yeah, moist out there, so it has rained at some point. But that's the weather, typical weather in Denmark. And in the wintertime, the sun just comes up and goes down, It's like, oh, there we have another train coming around, If that's the metro. But yeah. Typical Danish weather. I guess the sun should be coming up someplace, but as you can see, it's not really much of a. But again, I have the windows in the east and the west. Now, when the sun begins to get higher on the sun and all that, it begins to be a lot better because then the sun begins to move into the direction with the sun panels and. Actually it begins to actually go beyond, and it begins to get further north actually. So it's like if you have the sun panels here, right? The sun sets over there, around there. So it actually in the summertime, it actually goes, how you have north in that direction. So it actually goes more like, what do you call it? West north, from the west. It moves from the west and begins to go in the northern direction, and that's when it's the high point in regards to the summer, and the day is the longest in regards of sun and all that, because of the wobbling of the earth and all that. We have these effects and all that. Yeah, but anyway, and if in the other direction, in the other direction, you can see typical Danish weather in the other direction as well. And you can, was that some drops on the glass? I'm not, no, maybe not. It does look like some watery thing right there. Maybe there are some watery thing on. I can't seem to find. This is a double glass, and of course I know that the glass takes some of the energy when you have the sun panels behind it. This is because of rules and all these bullshit things up. So I put them inside. They should not complain about having them inside, but they might complain about having them outside and all that. But whatever. And as you can see over here, it actually looks a little darker. It looks like it could actually like rainy things and all that. But yeah, not a single blue on the horizon or whatever it's called, right? So that's just typical weather in Denmark. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's just terrible on so many levels. But that's just how it is. Yeah, not much to do about that. Oh, we have Maybe it's also the wind. Maybe it did look like the bird flying. Anyway, I still don't see any sun out there. Let's see if the sun should have a sunrise. 8:24. Yeah, 8 minutes since the sun should have, gone up, and we're nearly ending the 10 month, by the way, in regard to the moon. But I can't, there's no way to see where the sun is, because it's it's gray. And again, typical weather in Denmark, and I guess that's maybe also one of the reasons why people are more happy to actually work, right? I remember, when you went to work and it was bad weather, right? You're like, you feel like you're not missing out of anything because it's bad weather anyway, right? It's sad weather, and so maybe actually the weather further helps people to engage in working, and because if it's good weather, you feel like, oh, it's good weather, I don't want to go and work because it's good weather, right? And actually, I think it should be more loose in regards of, if it's good weather, I'm going to enjoy the weather, because you can't just control the weather. I guess the Satanists can do that weather things and all that, right? Regards to trying to change and fix and all that, and all the airplanes, blowing out that bullshit and all that. So if you actually have a blue heaven, then it all of a sudden become disgusting gray, and filled with all of these things, and then a blue day goes away and becomes a gray day. So they've done this for years and years. The airplanes have just, you could see then I remember when I was sun gazing many years ago, when I was in Satan's candy shop, and I went out. I'm normally not a morning person, but I did get down to the sun, to the beach, with bare feet and all that, because that's the idea of sun gazing, and the bare feet and all that, and let the energy flow through you and so forward. And the idea is that, I was going for and stop eating and all that, but because so that was one of the goals I had, in some sense, of doing it, because then other issues that I had might actually also go away. If I stopped eating, I wouldn't actually need to go to the toilet, and win-win situation overall, but that didn't really work, in any case. But yeah, I remember, standing there in the morning, and you could just see airplanes, and they're just spitting out this nonsense, and you could just see the sun become less powerful, because I was sun gazing. I was looking directly into the sun, and by the way, I'm not blind by doing that, and I've done that on a lot of occasions. But I guess you could damage your eyes, but in any case. That was something in regards of, it needs to, on the UV or something like that, it needs to get, so in the winter time it never gets to that point, as far as I recall. So wherever it is on the I can't remember all the details on this. It's a long time since, and it's hard to remember everything. In any case, yeah, so you could just see the airplanes, and then they came and fix this nonsense. And now, of course, I could stand there for maybe an hour to stand and sun gaze and look, so I could just follow the airplanes coming, and it's just disgusting. Anyway, that's how it is, I guess. So, and of course that doesn't, help in regards of sun panels either. They're pretty much stealing from you when they're doing this, because you will make less energy. So that's a way of stealing from the people. And of course, it's disgusting. If that's what airplanes produce, no airplane should be allowed to fly around in the day. If they can't do anything else in regards of then let them fly in the night. Because that's just disgusting. Then you can have a round in regards of wind and so forward. They're allowed to fly above us. But anyway, so yeah, Oh, that flies the bird. I'm still trying to fix my glass in my toes. It's just terrible, and everything is going downhill. And apparently, my hands is also not feeling good because reaction of the body in regards of the glass in my toes, and it's just terrible. I was just sick and tired of this society. It's incredible how it's so disgusting, filthy. How the medical mafia is just a murderous machine that is just not helpful in any way. So it's mostly it's just murdering people. All that disgusting filth that they're injecting into people and all that. And of course, I'm censored on Facebook again. So I guess I'm around 500 days in jail since all this Corona nonsense came around and all that. All this maniac, satanic bullshit. I'm so sick and tired of this world. Absolutely amazing. So anyway, censorship everywhere. Free speech. Where's the free speech when you're just getting, and in regards of elections and all that, bullshit, because you find out that censorship is everywhere. So when you begin to go against and try to, you hit into this whole machinery of censorship and banning you and all this, and you can't, So, but anyway, so it's not really working so good in regards to the panels. Even if it's indirect light at the moment, I should get something, right? So if I let's see here, if I, I can take this cable from the two, connect it to the sun panel, right? And can turn it on. Now this is what the device shows me. And I guess it still shows that we are low on battery apparently, but it's not even showing that it's charging, And this is from the solar panels, and as you can see, there are some kind of light outside. It's not much, of course. It's not direct light or anything like that, but there are some light in the air, and yet I don't get anything. Nothing. Not a single watt. And then sometimes it just shows that it's charging, but it's not showing how much, right? So it's in the winter time. It's going to be very, very. It's kind of disappointing in regards to how little you can actually generate of. I've seen, there's some in regards to water, pretty much, right? If you have flowing water, you can generate power, right? So if you let's say you go to bath, right, and you could put like a pedal thing, in regards of making energy while you are in the bath, that would be one way of. I don't know how much power you could generate, but there are these, things that can generate power if it just has some kind of water flow from, some pressure from water. So that would also maybe be a way to maybe make a little energy or something like that. And the thing is, maybe you should, it's maybe I'm just using too much energy, right? I really need to I need to find some other ways, to do things for sure, right? And so to use less power. Now in the summer with this setup, you can still make a good amount of power. You would still, use, you would still need to be using less, technology and all that. I guess some of the mobiles might be the best choice for a low power device to run from. In regards to this little slim client, even if it uses around 3 to 7 watts and you can use it and all that, it might still be too much. And of course you would need to use a screen as well for it, and that's at least 5 to 7 watts. It depends in regards to the screen size and how effective it is and all that. So that would be, let's say, around 20 watts with a screen and the device, right? But that's, it's better than 100 watts compared to the other machine that runs from 100 to over 300 watts, although it's somewhat more powerful, right? I wish, it could be interesting to try those 30 watts panels from this other company, just to see in these bad conditions if, let's say, these panels are 110 watts a piece, right? And this was in regards of efficiency and cheapness and all that, this was the way to go, as far as I could see. These was the solar panels that should be very effective and are very cheap and all that. Well, cheaper at least, compared to the 30 watt, panel thing that the military uses and all that. But the thing is, if I fix the 30 watt panel thing, would that actually give me anything, Because if the 30 watt panel would give me just 1 watt in these bad conditions, it would be better than these 110 watts panels. Now, of course, in the summer, these panels can give, they can give more than, let's say I had two 30 watts panels, right? They would maximum give out 60 watts, and I don't think it would ever, reach 60 watts. But in any case, these panels, I think I've been up around 100 watts or something like that. I don't expect it to maximize, because I have so bad conditions and all that. But when the sun is directly hitting and all that, you get pretty good results. You get a good amount of energy into the machine, right? And let's say you get an hour of 100 watts. That means that you can use the computer for 5 hours, right? That's pretty good, If you have a low energy screen and the slim client and all that, you can use the computer for around 5 hours. That's not bad, in the summer at least, right? But that's of course in regards of good conditions and all that. And of course, then again, you have to, in the summer, you actually, probably would like to be more outside, right, than inside. And in the winter, you're inside, right? But yeah, so it's kind of, it's not easy, So it takes a lot of effort to look into low, power consumption things and all that. But I think probably some of the mobiles are probably the better choice for low power things that you can probably run longer than like a slim device that, of course, only uses around 3 to 7 watts usually. At the moment, around 10. I actually been up to, but that was also because I was charging some battery with it and all that. But yeah, mobiles probably are more effective in regards of using energy and all that. So yeah. Or a laptop, but again, then you need to be on all these new modern systems and all that. I just don't want to be on these modern systems. So yeah, I guess it's just, I guess you don't really have much need, there's so much things that you can't really do without any energy. But of course, and as long as you have some headlight, you can read books, right? Or I guess you can go to sleep, right? Or do something else, in regards of go out and make some fire or something. I don't know. So yeah. So I guess it's not totally successful. I don't know if I should look into this solar film or whatever it's called, this other kind of 30 watts. It could be interesting, it just could be interesting, but it's, expensive and all that. But it could be interesting to see if I could just get 1 watt out of a 30 watt, power film thing compared to these in these bad conditions. Like, it's incredible, right? I have 2 solar panels, 220 watts in total, and they should be able to gather indirect light, and yet I get pretty much nothing. I understand that I wouldn't be getting much, right? But I would have thought that I might be able to actually see on the device how much it actually. I haven't connected something to actually see how much it actually generates. I would need to have some kind of to these plugs and fix it in and check out if in the total how much does it actually generate, because clearly the machine can't go into it can only do 1 watt, and of course how precise it is I don't know either. It would be interesting to see how much am I actually generating. 200 milliamps, or milliwatts, I guess. 200 milliwatts. I'm getting 400 milliwatts. How much am I getting, right? It might just be enough to actually have the display turn on. I don't know. So maybe it's wasted all around, because usually it just turns on the display, right, when it begins to charge, and when it turns on and off and on and off, you would think you probably use some. I don't know how much that display actually uses, right? But yeah. So I don't know. So I could try to look into, but I think it was like 3,000. I had a link for it. I think I deleted the link and all that, because I thought, now I have these, but yeah, it could be interesting to try, if it could actually get just 1 watt compared to if I bought 1 panel of 30 watts and I fixed it up, and it actually, if it actually did better than one of these, in the winter, then it might be worth thinking about actually getting the other kind instead of these, because it's in the winter that you or I guess you could maybe swap them around when it begins to, if they're more effective. I don't know if they are, but if they were, you could swap them around when it begins to get into winter. So you just fix these other panels that might be, maybe, don't know, but maybe better in the winter time in regards of non-direct lightning. I don't know, but I would need to get a 30 watt solar panel for it and connect it and so forth, get the right cables and all that. I guess I could maybe look into it, and it's just a lot of money to just try something. But I guess I could use the power film thing to, in regards of hiking and all that. You could really just fix it as a like a Superman thing, and just fix it, around you and over the back and all that, and just connect it to a power supply and all that. You should be able, if you're going to travel down in the in countries that are a lot of sun, you would be totally over dimensioned, I think. Like in Israel, for example, I had the very smallest solar panel, 14 watts or something like that. That I did my first solar panel that I paid, that I bought a long time ago, and I tried it in Israel, and the problem was, it nearly filled the whole battery. A whole battery that was, as far as I recall, the same size as this one, so that would be around 7,800 milliamp hours, and it nearly filled it up. Maybe it was a little smaller, 6,800. I can't remember, but it was some of the same kind of this. But the thing is, I found out that the charging of the input was only it was not the full effect. So even if the solar panel produced more energy, the device would not get the maximum. So if I actually had like this one, it might actually have charged fully on a 40 watt solar panel. and it was set in the direction of the best direction for solar panels in regards of south. So I put it like it was in this camp thing, and I just put it up in the direction of the of course it could have been stolen and all. Someone said, he wouldn't dare to put it up and all. They just put it up in the middle of the camp, with the battery and all that, and put it in the direction of. But no one stole it, so so that was nice. I don't know, maybe no one dared to do. I don't know. But in any case, it nearly charged the whole device. Now there's a lot of sun in Israel and blue sky and all that, but that was only 14 watts. So you could probably, in Israel, for example, or other nations with a lot of sun, you could probably do with 14 watts panels. And if you actually took a 21 watt panel, you should have more than enough to run your mobile and all that. But I think the 14 watt panel might actually do its thing, pretty good. Most likely more than enough. But yeah. But of course, if you have the power film, you can make like a Superman thing. What is it called? Like and fix it to you, and then connect it to a battery charger. Although if it's a power film, you need to have a specific kind of power connection and a specific kind of power bank. But then you should absolutely be totally over-dimensioned in power. If you go out hiking, you shouldn't have any problems in regards of keeping up with power, as far as I can gather. You could probably also charge other things than your mobile, of course, your light source and all that, right? Of course, but you should have more than enough power. It should be totally over-dimensioned if you go that route. Yeah. But then, that's. But of course, these panels, you can't do that with. You can't hike with these because they're too fragile. It's more like putting them on a boat or on a car or something like that. But. Or in the window as I have them, but they are you're not allowed to totally they're very thin, and you should be careful in regards of not breaking them and all that. So but yeah, they're pretty lightweight as well. That was one of the reasons, so you can just put them in the window, but doesn't really work so good in the winter for sure. And when you don't have any direct light nearly, because the sun just goes up, down, up, down, doesn't really give you anything. Now, of course, the sun is now turning, we have just hit the lowest point in the last Roman month, right? I think it's like 21 December or something like that, and then it begins to go up again. So, of course, we are moving in the direction of, further and further, more and more light. But it would be interesting to test out some. This is the time to see. This is where it bites the dust or whatever. But this is the time to actually test things out, because this is where we have the worst, worst of the worst conditions of the year. So this is when, what is it called? The wheels hit the rubber hits the road or something like that. This is really the time where you can see how much can I actually get out of it, right? How much do they actually work? How much can I actually, how effective are they really? How much can I actually use, right? Before because it's not much, that's for sure. It's not much. And again, I'm not even, if I only charged my headlights in the winter time, would I even be able to have a continuing ability to just charge the batteries of the, no mobiles or anything like that. Would I actually just be able to just charge my small batteries for the headlight? Because that would of course be the most important thing, right? To have power for my, because as long as you have light, you can read, you can do something, right? And it doesn't really, the light source doesn't use much. As long as you have light, with you, you can read books, and there's lots of books I can read, I documents and this and that and all that. There's not, I have more than enough of that to dig through and fix and sort out and all that. So, when I close down the power totally, it's not like I don't have anything else to do. I have way too much to do in regards of other things. So when I've closed the power totally down and going with this other thing, then what do you call it? Then there's a lot of other things to do, for sure. To sort out documents, to fix this and that, and a lot of things to read and study and all that, and more than enough. So, but yeah, it would be interesting with this, because I all the rest of the solar panels are pretty much like this specific technology. Of course, there's some differences with them in regards of generations and all that, but overall, I don't really have the technology of the power film, so I don't have one single thing to test. It would just be interesting, right? Of course, maybe the power film wouldn't give me any watts at all, maybe it would be as useless as these other panels, but of course it would be this time of the year that I would have the ability to test it out, what really is the best, when does one of the panels begin to produce just one single watt, right? Which panel, the 110 watt panel or the 30 watt panel of power film, because again they have the same footprint, and that would be very interesting if I could just see which one would actually hit 1 watt at the first when the sun begins to go up and the weather begins, which one would, show 1 watt at the first entrance, right, in low light conditions. So anyway, at the moment now the EB70 is charging from this wall plug and all that, and I kind of do that a lot. It's very quickly emptying this device. Maybe this hub thing, I haven't checked how much the hub thing actually uses. I think it's running from a 12 volts thing and all that. Yeah, I think it gets kind of complicated, all these things, I think it's, where is it? I'm not sure where the wire's going. Well, it's not going over there. I think this is the wire. I think it's connected with the, no? I'm not sure. This is not, it's going down under the machine. I can't remember. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, here we go. Okay. I fixed it with some tape and all that apparently, and fixed it to the USB. Apparently it runs from the USB. Okay, and that's also something that you test things out in regards of voltage and all that, and cables and all that, and sort things. Sometimes a unit can do in regards of different kinds of voltage and all that. Sometimes there's some kind of a room for, sometimes there's not, but it's something that you kind of need to test out and all that, and figure out if this works or not. I have a laptop that I really haven't used much. It's like, I call it the crap bar. I just totally fail on. I just bought the cheapest, laptop long ago because my computer broke and all that. But it's like terrible computer, and all the security nonsense to make you not able. I couldn't install Windows 7 on it, and I was born with Windows 10, and it's just a terrible machine on so many levels. It lags and this and that. It's just incredible. It's just disgusting. But anyway, I got Linux installed on it, and yet it's still bad, but it did make it a little better. But it's a terrible machine. Although I don't know how much energy it uses, but apparently I need to have a voltage thing to sort that out, because it runs 19.5 volts or something like that. I tried to connect it to the 12 volt, but that's not working. So, but again, you need to test things out and figure things out and try to. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. But it would be interesting to try the Power Film 30 watts. I know I've said it a couple of times. And I think the Power Film, if you took it, like let's say you went on hiking in Spain or in Israel or something like that, I think you should, you're probably more than covered. But of course, the winter time, it's more rainy, as I understand it. You have in Israel, you have 5 months of winter, no, sorry, rain, and worsening, but it doesn't flip flop so much in Israel. So the sun doesn't seem to, like in Denmark, where you have huge amount of sunlight in the summer, right? But in the winter you have very little because of this wobbling effect of the earth. But in Israel, they're a lot closer to equator, so you don't have this huge difference. I'm not sure how much difference there is in Israel, but I don't think that's that much in regards of, so you get a more, you don't get this nonsense of these many hours of this direction and that direction. So that would be easier to keep what do you call it, a thing going where you're closer to the sunrise, all year long in regards of going up and all that. So let's see here what we have. Yeah, it's just gray, and nope, can't see the sun anywhere. But it's light outside. You can see outside. That's clearly indirect light, and you would have, or I would have hoped that the solar panels at least could do something. I put the other solar panel that actually also works pretty great in the summer. The smallest solar panel, the first one I bought many years ago, still working and all that. And in the summer, you can have the small batteries for the headlight and just put it in, and it actually charges these small batteries. Now, of course, they're very small batteries, right? But it's interesting. You just put them on, and it actually charges them pretty good. It makes enough energy in the summer, so you can actually get some batteries charged. But it's totally dead at the moment. It's just totally dead. So that's a lot harder to charge. Maybe I should also, I have some kind of other solar panels, and I could, put and try the different things up and see maybe how much and all that. I did test them over in the other apartment as well. And I kind of like, I remember starting out with one kind of, first I started out with the one I had, and I found out, oh, that's not enough, Then I bought a 21, and I found out, oh, that's kind of not, not good enough. Then I bought a further one, but that's actually not better in any way in regards of the it's not better in regards of the USB, sadly. It, as far as I recall, it actually is, it's somewhat of the same in regards to the USB output than the 21 watts that I have, and I have two of those. So that was kind of a very disappointing, although there's another kind of connection for it that might make it produce more in regards of power output. But I don't have like a thing for that and all that. And everything costs so much, right? Everything costs a lot of money in regards to this solar panel thing. And I understand you can you know, you could, if it work, you know, if you get it really working and all that, you could, you know, save a lot of, you know, you would produce a lot of energy for free, right? And that's wonderful, right? So, but yeah, if you had like a 30 watts power film, I would think that you would be pretty covered if you go out hiking and just use it as a, what do you would call it? You know, a thing like you know, they did in the old days. You know, you just fix it on the back and all that, and the power film, it does well. I guess, you know, in regards to the power film, you can also get these units where you can actually, where there's a battery on it, and they might be a lot better. You know, who knows? In regards to these, might be a lot better than these. You know. You know, because again, if they produce something, right, it's just a lot better than not producing anything. So, in the worst, you know, we want something that works in very bad light conditions, and I'm kind of, you know, I'm just disappointed that I don't, you know, I don't get anything in regards to this. I understand, you know, of course I understand it's very hard to get anything in the winter, right? But still, you know, I would have expected it, you know, to give me a little more than. You know, I can't even see that it's producing anything. So, yeah. I guess you need to go on an energy fast in some sense, and maybe that actually would be healthy as well. Okay. Okay. At the moment, it's. I'll just put it in. I don't know why the output went to 0. Did it actually shortcut it? What? I don't know why it seemed to stop the. Oh well, apparently it seemed to stop the. But anyway, okay. So now it's on 0, but it does say that it's charging. You know, you can see that it's a solar panel, right? Nah, it's a camera. It's not so good. Maybe the other camera is better in regards of. Oh, now it stopped. Well, I guess it will probably start again, but it's like 0, right? You know, and it turns off. Now it should turn on again when the light conditions becomes a little better. I can just, you know, at the very moment when it begins to turn on here, let's see here. Yeah, this is the light conditions. Oh, it's a little too much, you know, let's see here. There we go. Yeah, that seems to be pretty, something of that nature seems to be more of the, something of that nature, you know, you can see that it's gray outside. It's actually, you know, it's more yellowish. You can't see that on the camera, at least I can't see it on the, but it is a little more yellowish, maybe that's, well, where is that? That's some place where you can, oh yeah, here. Can we make it more, no, that's more blue. It's a little more yellowish. Let's see here if this. That's too red. It's a little hard to, but I guess around there, something like that. I guess I can't do much better. Yeah, as you can see, gray, and you know, it's looking like it would begin to rain at any moment, pretty much. You have the same out here. Not a single slip of blue anywhere. Typical Danish weather. So we absolutely have the worst conditions at the moment. And it's not charging. It doesn't turn on the, you know. If I, yeah, there we go. Nothing. Not a single movement, you know. And it's connected over here. I guess we need to turn it up here to be able to see anything here. As you guys, it's connected over there with these two panels and all that, and you know, there's light out there. You would think that indirect light, you know, it would be giving me just a little, right? It's giving me nothing. You know, it doesn't need to be much, right? If it just was giving like 1 watt when the sun was up, that would be 1 watt in 7 hours or whatever, how many, I'm not sure how many hours the sun is up. It's like, yeah, 7, I think this is like 7.52 hours of sun up, I think. Let's see, 8. Yeah, I guess that fits pretty good, doesn't it? Anyway, so if it just gave 1 watt an hour, that would be pretty good. That would be pretty satisfying. At least you would get something, right? And yet, nothing. No, now it's beginning to charge. Oh yeah, now it's okay. Let's see here. So now it's now it stopped again. Ha, typical. So you can see it turns it on, and it began to charge for a short while, and then it stopped again. Okay, well, we'll wait for it again. So how much is it giving into the unit? It can't be much, I don't know if there's a minimum that it needs to give to the unit before it actually, have enough to push things into it, to push energy into it. But yeah. So there's 2 other options in regards of solar panels that might be better. And that's the power film, either in regards of the power film as 30 watts and connected to the unit, or in regards of, I think it's in regards of the connection with the battery they have, that seems to be pretty good as well. So you get a battery with the power film, and it's made to charge the battery. That might be better options than this, and it would be interesting to try them out and to see if this is the case, right? If we have it's starting up. Like, look at that, right? So it just begins to show the display and saying that it's charging, right? But it doesn't give me one single input in regards of watts. So how many milliwatts is it doing? How much is it doing? I don't know, but it can't be much, because it doesn't really even give me 1 watt, Of course, the output of this device is around 5 watts, so that's not too much at the moment. But I guess the computer is not turned on, and yeah, I guess the wire might have been. I need to check the wiring. Apparently, the thing down there still works, and then it turned off. Okay, I don't know if it's stopped. Let's see here. No, it's not showing that it's charging anymore, so that's bad. Now, of course, in regards to the watts and all that, that's not totally precise in regards to how much it's showing, in regards to how much it uses and all that. Or at least, maybe it takes consideration in regards of other things, in regards of how much it's actually using compared to what it actually puts out. So maybe it actually is precise enough, but when you measure something that goes out of the unit, but I guess that doesn't really show the extra thing. So maybe it actually does okay in regards of it. Yeah. So we don't. Yeah, now it's showing that it's charging again. Yep. But again, it's not even showing 1 single watt. So how much is it doing? I don't know. But it's not much. And that's pretty much at the moment, these couple of, it hasn't really done much, in regards of charging. And again, I don't know how much it actually gets into the system. Is it enough to continue to charge your batteries without any... Of course, if you start out with a full battery and you don't use the computer or anything like that, and then just begin to only charge your batteries, could you actually keep on going with that without actually... and continue throughout the whole winter? Because the battery doesn't take much energy, right? So if you can just continue doing that, that's fine. Then you have the energy for that, right? For the light source. That's all I guess you really need. That's the most important thing anyway. So, and I guess I'm just speaking, and not really. So. Now it's just standing still now again. So again, yeah, it's not even, you know, it's not even showing that it's charging all the time either. So it's just, yeah. So it's starting, stopping in these conditions. And of course that's not that's kind of bad. I could try to fix some of the other solar panels out and actually see if I could get anything from them. I could pack one of the solar panels and move it to the left, you know, so just, and put it up with the other one, and try some of the other solar panels with the conditions here and see if they would produce you know, the 21 watt panels and all that. How much can I get in regards to charging my batteries, my small batteries and all that, and if it actually gets something, because it doesn't seem like I'm getting much in regards to these. Let's see here. Can I like fix, or maybe I can fix it like this. Yeah, that's fine. So let's take this off. Let's see here.
UHF mode.
Oh yeah, I had this also fixed in regards. Of course, that's taking battery as well. That's of course probably also a good amount. So, okay. So what we're going to do is I have another speaker over here. And we're going to take this one and lift this up and put this over here. And of course, I should have had some more. I wonder, how did I actually do it? You know, I did have them up at some point, didn't I? Apparently I've taken some of these things out. Do I actually have, I don't know where my hooks are, you know. Well, I guess, I know I have some hooks somewhere, you know. Let's see here. Let's take this one, that's like 28, that's blue eddy thing here. That's one of the, okay, let's see here. Well, I guess I can just put it up here and see how do I do that. So I have to remember all these things. Let's put it up here, and I guess I can take some battery or something like that. But no, I'm not getting anything from the solar panel either, it seems. If I recall, it usually turned on. And, well, anyway, let's just take one. Oh, we've lost the. Oh, no, let's see it. I'm just going to take one of these small batteries and fix into it a very, very small battery, and let's put this over here. And these are the batteries that pretty much are the most important. I have, by the way, 3 kinds of these batteries. I also figured out what I prefer of, you know, they pretty much have the same, anyway, I think it was, of course they don't have much of a difference, but there was one of them that seemed to be better than others, but you want to see here if we can, nope, it's not getting any power at all, it's just totally dead. It's dead, you know, so that's not any better either, this solar panel that I have here at least. It's from the Blue Eddy, it's giving nothing. It has a display and the display is just totally dead, no, nothing. I have the other one that is also big blue and all that. It's a little bigger, I guess also a little heavier. But yeah. Let's see here. That's 22 as well. I'm not going to get any. Oh, wait. We actually have some light actually turning on. That's true. You know, I remember one of the solar panels, because it has this display, needs to have power for the display, and that seemed to be kind of. We actually have some light in regards to the other one. So let's see here. Let's see if we can fix it over here in the best conditions and see what happens. Well, it's blinking. Okay. And let's see if we can get a cable up here. Yep. good amount of different cables apparently. And let's take the battery, an empty battery here. Let's see what we can get. If it wants to. No. Well, so that's not getting energy enough either. It's nothing. It's just blinking. So I guess these are the worst conditions to try out things, and this is not working at these conditions. It is blinking, you know, in regards of, but it's pretty much just blinking. It, I guess it can't just get enough for turning on, and the battery usually turns on if there's anything. So no power in these conditions with indirect light. Terrible, absolutely terrible. I have one more solar panel, but again, that's usually, I don't think it will do anything. It is a lot bigger, but in regards of generating power, it didn't really do much. Anyway, let's try it out. Yeah, this is, nope, it's just blinking. Bad. So that's not good either in regards to these light conditions. I guess my research in regards to finding something that does wonderful in bad light conditions haven't been really successful. But I guess this is the same technology as the other one. So that's a huge, you know, these are huge, right? And that's a problem in regards of, I guess I might be able to do it like this. Hold it up here, just have a, see if this goes. And hold it down and see. Well, we do have light, and it's not blinking at least. So let's see what we can get out of this. Maybe we do actually have some better, you know. Okay, let's see here. Okay, it's still working. Yeah. Okay. Let's take, I think this one, and I'll just fix this one and fix these out. Fix one battery in and see what we get. Wow. Well, it's not a perfect result, but it is. We do have light in the battery actually. That's kind of surprising that it actually is. It's actually showing up charging. Okay, that's interesting, because when I tested this solar panel that is a lot bigger than the others, the 28, and I also have a 14 watt of them that's over here, right? And it works wonderful in the summer to charge small batteries. You know, you would think that it's too small for, but it actually is pretty good at charging the smallest batteries. You can just put 2 in it and it will charge, or you could, I guess, put more in it. But 2 seems to be pretty good to in regard to dimension. When, well, of course, at the moment it doesn't really matter in regards of having more than one. So let's just fix 1 in it and see if it ever gets it done. Because at the moment it's, but this one actually, it actually does show that it's charging. Now, I don't know how much. I could put a tester in it and see how much I'm getting. It can't be much, because it doesn't, like, you know, if you have it in another one where it gives full force, I think the light will be a lot, what do you call it? See here? Yeah, it's a lot. It's, you know, you can see the power of the light here is very, very much brighter than when you have it over here, but it is, you know, it is lightening up, you know. But you can see, you know, it's not like full force that it's blinking, you know. So I don't know how much it's actually charging and all that, but it is, you know. And you have the diode up here, Up here you can see it's having a diode turned on. So actually this actually looks like it's doing pretty well, in regard. But the thing is, but maybe that actually, the thing is, it when you have, light, it wasn't doing better in the upper scale. I think that was the problem in regards to this. It wasn't really doing any better when there was a lot of sun, because the USB could only seemingly go up to a specific point. I can't remember how much. Then some of the 28 watt panels was actually better. But yeah, this seems to be better than the others, in these low light conditions. At least it's doing something, Also this blue diode, I think I put something in front, or did I take it out? I know I did put something in front of it at some point. I think it's still there, I'm not entirely sure, because it was very, I think there's a sticker put on it. Because it's very hard to see. See here. I think there's a sticker on it, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. Okay, it's blinking now, so it's not. And if I put, if I put it to the up to the glass, it actually, it becomes better. But it's still not, it's not totally, but it does seem to still do better than, again, it's doing something. That's the thing, right? It's doing something. I would need to do further testing. Again, it's pretty dark in at the moment, but that's interesting. It actually is doing better than. I was looking in regard to these 50 watts, right? Because you can actually connect these 50 watts with another 50 watts, and then but I'm not sure if you could actually connect them and get the output on the USB. That was a thing that I thought about. If I connected two of them, and maybe I could get more power out of the USB, but I'm not sure that actually is the. And again, everything cost money, and it just cost a lot of things to test these things, and but yeah, that's kind of. But at least I'm getting something out of it. Actually, I could put this solar panel in the other direction and put it up in the other. Just fix it in the other direction. I think it should be able to gain power in this direction as well. Let's just open this and try it out. I think it should probably do. So I could. It should be able to. Let's see here. Oh, but it's heavy. I think it was 50 watts if I recall correctly, right? And let's try it out. Okay. Oh my, it's too big for the. That's too bad. It's apparently too big for the for that. So we will need to have a longer window. Now, of course, in regard to moving, who knows what kind of windows I'm going to get. Oh, there we go. Let's see here if we can put this on again. And yeah. Well, whatever the case, we do have, it's turning around because it's, and I don't think I can reach this one. Nope. Do I have something where I could, something where I can just fix a wire or something like that? Maybe this one. Let's just fix this. Let's see if we can do it like that and put it over here. Come on, yeah, start. Okay, it fits. Well, it's not perfect, but it does work. See. Okay, there we go. turn it around so I can see it. Okay, there we go. So so apparently the 50-watt panel seems to at least charge up the small battery. Seems to do, at least it lights up, you know, compared to the 28. So it does seem to do better in the winter time. Although of course it is bigger than the others, so you know, a lot bigger, a lot more weighty and all that. But it does seem to. But the thing is, I can't. You know, I don't think I have any. Maybe upstairs. Maybe I can fix it with some gaffer tape or something like that upstairs or something like that for seeing if it will charge. You know, a couple of batteries or something like that of the small batteries in this winter time. I can put the small over here, but again, the thing is, am I going to move soon or what, or something like that? Probably have a lot of, yeah, but it is lightening up in regards to that. I guess in regards to the different batteries might be also different in regards of, of the diode. But I don't have, well, maybe I need to, let's get power on and see if I can use some batteries up here and see here, what do we have here? I need to have some of the other kind of batteries. Well, this is the one that we're using, so I have 3 kinds of batteries. There's not really much change about them besides the diode thing. Okay, we have one of these. Let's see here. We have one there. And we need one of the green. Do we have one of the greens? Nope. Where's the green one? Well, we have this one, but we should have one more. Oh, maybe it's in the... No, that's probably not. Maybe it's... No, I don't think so. I should have one of the clean ones. No. No. Where could that be? I'm clearly missing. I'm missing a battery. Alright, outside. Let's see, this one there. That's the one I have most of. That's the cheapest kind of batteries, although they're also the worst. Although, you know, there's no difference in regards to how much power they have. But I'm still missing one of, you know, because this one has been in the sea, although it's still working. But I kind of rather have one that is specifically. Yeah, that's not. No, I don't think the other one is neither. No. I should have a clean one of these other kinds, but I just don't know where it is. Oh yeah. No, I need to fix this one. Just. What can it be? No, that's not it either. And these are the. Yeah, I don't know what that could be. I just could have been interesting to see if there's any difference in regards of how the diode reacts when it has no juice. And well, anyway. Oh, maybe it's in this one. Maybe that's the. I haven't checked that. Haven't. Oh yeah. Absolutely amazing, of course. Ha. Who would have known? Of course, that's the only one I didn't check. Okay, so and we need this one, and we need one of these other guys. We have over. What was this the one? I don't know. I'll just see if we can use the power here. Yeah. So yeah, that might be a pretty good option, I guess, for just at least getting something in the winter in regards to the battery here. At least seems to. I don't know if I put more batteries in it, if it would still produce some power and push it to, I don't know would be best in regards to that. But at least it does something, you know, compared to the two others. But the 50 watt, panel, you know, it's too heavy to really take with you. But yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I do recall, you know, if you could actually connect two of those two panels, I can see, and if it actually will, you know, then, you know, get more juice out of the USB port. That, you know, in the winter time and all that, there would be 100 watt panels, and you can just charge one battery up. Yeah, that would function pretty good. Oh, the other panel in regards of the other panel in regards to, you know, the EB70 has just turned on, so that's interesting. Because there's only one panel pretty much. The other one is behind the other one. Of course, I guess it gets indirect light anyway in regards of being behind the panel. But yeah, it's apparently it's charging. But again, in regards to charging, how much, you know? Is it giving more power than the 50 watt module I have over here? Maybe, I don't know. Again, I will need some kind of testing equipment to test it out. So I can test this one out. It's probably not getting much. I do have a testing device somewhere. I also have the other testing device in regard. Well, where did I put that? I should have one that I haven't used, but you know, everything is just haywire because of moving and all that, and it's just one mess of. And then I have glass in my toes, and it's just a mess overall. Of course, I shouldn't be too unhappy, right? A lot of people are getting killed and butchered and slaughtered these days, so it could be a lot worse, you know. It could be a lot better for sure as well. I know I have like a meter somewhere, just not sure where it is. Oh, here we go. It's an old meter, and it's, you know, but it should work. Let's try to put it in and see what we get. See if we can get it to actually show anything. Okay, let's see. There we go. Or maybe okay, maybe that's too much for it actually. That makes it stop charging apparently. Okay, that's not going as, nope. Okay, so it has turned off in regards to, okay, let's try. Okay, so putting the measurement in between makes it fail. Okay, putting it here now, it's blinking. It's having a hard time, you know, making a direct flow of energy. It is blinking somewhat. Yeah, that wasn't so good. Wow, I'm fat. I have a stomach. Oh, someone going around with a ladder. Yeah, so I'll just wait for it to actually. So yeah, it's terrible. You know, it's kind of terrible getting energy in the winter in Denmark. It's solar panel. It's kind of nearly impossible. So you can go to the library, of course, if you connect you totally off in regards to don't want to support these criminals. You could you could go to the library. I don't know how many chargers there is in one of these anchor things and all that, but I do have these anchor things, you know, that should charge pretty quickly if you have a fast charger and all that. Although I bought, you know, a good amount. I bought, you know, that was like a cheap thing in regards to the point, but one of them broke, you know, and because I had thrown out the, you know, so I do have these anchor power banks that I can take with me to the library, charge them up, and have them. And again, I don't know how many charges there is in regards of the light and all that, but I guess you could calculate how many charges there is, and as long as you can keep that on, that's fine, you know. again, you can read and all that, with that. So that would be something, of course, an experience I would need to get into. And of course, when you're on the library, you can do the computer thing as well. And yeah. Nope, now it's the battery is kind of dead. It's still waiting. It's, yeah, bad conditions, absolutely worst conditions. So again, what is the best option for low light conditions? I don't know, but yeah, it would be interesting to try out the other kind of power. The military apparently uses these others, and in regards of low light conditions and all that, maybe they would work better. Oh, the guy is up. I guess he's washing windows at the moment. Oh well. Yeah, it's totally dead. It doesn't show anything. Okay. Oh my. So yeah, it's kind of a fail. That's for now at least. It's kind of failure in the winter in regards to getting power on with solar panels in an apartment with these light conditions. Again, if you charge your whole EB70 up and all that, and only use it for batteries and all that throughout the winter, I guess you should be able to go for a long time. But of course, you might also want to have your mobile charged. That of course would also take a good amount. So in any level, I think you're pretty much underdimensioned on so many levels. But I guess you could go to the library, get some juice, go home again, and yeah. But for the mobile, yeah, it's going to be, if you're going to use like 700 milliamps or something like that, and that might be, let's say it's 2 days and you use 7,000 milliamps, you would need to produce 700 milliamps, which I'm not sure how much watts actually that is. That's a typical in regards to these milliamps. Why are they calculating amps when they should be calculating in watts? So yeah. Oh well. But yeah. These conditions would be nice. Okay. I guess maybe I should, what was it? Power, whatever. Let's see here. Someone wrote to me in regards of things on YouTube in regards to how it was going, and it's actually not going so well in regards to the power. So let's see here. What's your update, Darkijah? Well, not very good. But this is also from the video where he tested 120 power film versus the OGT solar blanket. And the OGT solar blanket, I found out that was very, very, very expensive. And of course I would be needing to get it from the US as well. So I found out that these other power film, that I could get these actually where they sell the secondary cells to others. So even if it's the same from this company and all that, they use the best cells for themselves, and then they sell their other cells for others. So even if it's the same cells that they're using, it's the second grade cells, and they use the most efficient cells for themselves and sell out the others. So it was cheaper in regards of getting these that I got, and they should have been more efficient. So that was great, right? So we have the power film 30 watts, and there's two different kinds of power films that could be interested. Both of them you could pretty much, I guess, hike with because they're lightweight and you could use it as a, you know, have it, fixed out and all that. Let's see here. Power film 30 watts. I know I had a place where you could. Is this the power film I was looking into? Well, power film 30 watts. I know I had a website where I had. I think I wrote to them. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I could look into. I did find a shop in Europe, if I recall correctly, that actually had these power films, but it was like 3,000, and it's like that's a lot of resources for a solar panel, But it would have been interesting to try it against these others and see if it actually could. If even if it only says 30 watts. It might be doing a lot better in lower conditions, right? So let's see here. And of course, that is kind of the important thing because, okay, you can make a lot of energy in the summer with the others and all that. Yeah, I understand that, right? But it's kind of nicer to actually have some kind of at least have more possibility in the winter. It's kind of the winter time where you're really on the issue of but yeah, again, maybe you could swap them around. Of course, then you would have some kind of solar panel in the summer, and then when you get to a specific, you could swap them out. Of course, that's kind of a, but yeah, that would maybe be a way. Let's see, power fill. Oh yeah, I think I found. No, that's in regards of. Is that the same? No, that's the solar bag shop, I guess. Let's see if they have a website. Well, they don't. Solar bag shop. Yeah, that's the German website. Let's see. I think that was the one that actually had this other. Let's see here. Power film. Input voltage specs 12 to 28 volts. And that's in regards of, I guess, the input of the the battery thing, right? And I can't remember all these things, Yeah. There's power film. Oh yeah, power film. Yeah, power film. Let's search for power film 30 watts. No, apparently not. Power film maybe. Okay, we get power film, different things. Power film. Oh yeah, VP30. But that's the price. Huge price. But I think this was the one, yeah. And this is like, what is it, like 500 euro. That's just like, how many? It's nearly 4,000. I thought it was 3,000. Maybe it's become more expensive than last time or something like that. As far as I recall, it was 3,000. Like how that's insane. How in the world are you going to ever pay so much for a solar panel in regards of 30 volts? Are you kidding me? But then of course you need to have a specific connection and all that. How in the world did it become so expensive? Again, as far as I recall, it was 3,000, and I thought that was expensive. Now it's nearly 5,000. Are you kidding me? I guess they wanna hurt us on so many levels in regards to resources. Oh, I guess someone just got, no, there's another. Okay, let's see here, old web pages, and see if I can actually find a, because that's, let's see if it's old web pages. And we have the other kind, you know, there's two different kinds of power films that could be interesting to try out. Where you could portable, you know, use them, right? And I guess it is easier to be over dimensioned compared to under dimensioned, you know. And then, you know, if you can see, okay, this works, you know, I guess it's always better to be having more than less, right? To be able to produce more than the other way around. You know, then you get out of that hurdle in regards of, if you can always produce power as much as you need and all that, and also have, you know, then you also have room for it actually, you know, if it goes downward and all that, you could still be able to produce, because you are over dimensioned. So if there's less sun, you know, you would still be able to maybe produce what you need, being over dimensioned. So on bad days you would also, so I guess it makes sense to yeah, it's like, yeah, that's incredible, like 4,000-5,000, you know, for that. And then you need, the problem is you also need a specific charge of, or you know, specific unit to, or cable. I guess I can still put it in the so yeah, we have a snapshot from 2018 from this website. Well, we have 3 snapshots from 2000. Let's see if what the price is here, if it shows. Because that's, you know, it seems like they have, but I guess everything needs to be more expensive, right? So they can totally dry us out, so we don't own anything, right? That's the whole point of it all, right? Make the poor even poorer, right? While the rich gets richer. Okay, there's not really anything on this. Yeah, okay, here it actually says 399 euro. It says inclusive 19 something, so maybe that's actually including something else. Let's probably try another little later on 2018 and see if it, but as far as I recall, it was like 3,000. And 3,000 is a huge amount for only a 30-watt panel. You know, it just feel, you know, it's just incredible. 400 euro as well. At least, you know, if you order it from Germany, at least I won't need to pay toll, right? But it's still, you know, yeah. Been talking too much. It says 400 euro inclusive 19% something. Okay. So I guess you get to, I don't know, 500 euro. I just price inclusive. Okay, so I guess on this they already have put the MWST into it, but I'm like, how can it be so expensive, you know, for it just, you know, for some solar panels? 5,000 for 30-watt solar panel, it's insane. It just feels absolutely insane. But maybe they work so much better than the others, I don't know. The weight is 0.8 kilos, so that's 800 grams still. Which is still, I think, lighter than the 50-watt panel I have. And I guess it would be a little bigger size in regards of the footprint than the 50-watt that I have. I guess these were the older cells, I think, in regards to the 50-watt panel, and those with the 120 cells, or 110 watts. have somewhat of the, a little bigger blue footprint, but they should be more efficiently and all that. But yeah, and it's working wonderful in the summer, right? But yeah, it's in the winter time here, I'm just totally, it would be if the power film could do better in the winter. If they could really just produce just 1 watt or something like that, maybe 2 watts in this condition, that would be amazing, because absolutely terrible with this. But they are functioning differently, as I understand. But it's so expensive, right? It's just. But here we have okay, so that's 32 times 18 times 3 centimeters. That's packed totally together. Do we have it's running universal Notting 12 volts, Stromausgang 15.4 volts. Well, that should be pretty much in regards of the battery. I don't know in regards of the Nutzung Dank. I don't know in regards of Germany here, but something. Do we have some kind of translator here? I see German to English. But at the moment, in regards to these conditions, right, this would be the time to test universal use thanks to 12 volts car output. Okay, so you can actually use it as a car output apparently, and many optional available adapters. Power output 15.4 volts. So I don't know how, I can't remember in regards of, but it talks about universal use thanks to 12 volts output. Universal use thanks to 12 volt car output. Is there a car output directly on it? Because okay, 12 volts output, that would be pretty great. So I have 12 volts, that I'm using in regard and car output in regards to the adapter and all that. I have that fixed to the computer. Of course, in regards to 12 volts, in regards of USB, you would have, if you're going to, you would need to have some kind of, yeah, you can get these small power banks that also do higher voltage. You would need one of those to have with you. You can't just, charge a USB with this, as far as I know. So you would need some kind of a specific kind of power bank. Of course, you can actually, that specific. Oh, here we go with the plug. Okay, so that seems to follow along. So you actually have a car plug with it, I guess. Interesting. So, okay. I don't have anything from a car plug to a USB. If I had something where I can just put it to a car plug, and then make it into a USB 5 volts, then I could charge batteries, and that would, I guess, be a way to see if it actually could, how it would be comparing with the others, pretty much. If I could, just put a little battery in it and see if it actually begins to charge, if it actually, yeah, that would be interesting. So, hugely expensive and just way above sanity in regards of price. And it might just be, yeah, it might be terrible, It might be absolutely terrible. It might be good. Who knows? Get into this nonsense of, trying to find the best of the best. Right here we have some kind of plugs for this kind of, because they use some kind of other plugs, because we shouldn't have a specific standard, right? We can't have that, of course. We need to have a different kind of plugs and all that. I guess you probably could just, fix standard plug. Why can't you actually do that? Shouldn't that actually be possible? I'm thinking couldn't you just use standard 230 plugs, You just need the, why not just use that? Why don't I just put that on, instead of all this nonsense? Of course, you shouldn't plug it into a 230 volts and all that. Maybe that's the problem, that they're afraid that you would do that, right? but in some sense you just have 2 wires, I think. I don't think you have any ground or anything like that. So in essence, you could pretty much just get some of these, you know, these plugs that are very heavy plugs in regards and slim plugs, and just plug it on and have it like a standard plug for everything or something like that. It just seems kind of, and these 230 plugs you can get, you know, you can use those, some of them you can use outside. I'll need to sort that out. I'll need to look into that, because if they can handle 230 volts, they should be able to handle 12 volts. And then you would have, you know, then you would be outside of this nonsense in regards to this kind of plug and this kind of plug and all that. Just clip it off, fix a, you know, a standard plug into it, and then we're running, right? Just click in, click out, not all that nonsense and all that. I'm thinking that should actually be possible, you know. It just seems like there's a minus, a plus and a minus. You just put it in, you know. I guess you might need to, sort out in regards of what the plus and the minus is, so you don't push it in the wrong direction. Of course, if you fixed a plug with earth, but that of course might be a little too big. But there must be some kind of a better plug than these nonsense plugs, you know. Oh, you need this kind of plug and this kind of plug and this kind of plug, specific kind of plug, and all this nonsense. And some plugs are when you put them together, you can't get them attached again or detached. It's just nonsense. I needed to sit with and fix some of the plugs, because they had this, you know, some of the plugs was made that when you first plug them in, you can't take them out. You know, you need an instrument apparently to get them out. Or yeah, it's just absolutely nonsense. And yeah, I could actually just clip the thing or fix some standard plugs on them, and there we go. Yeah. And if you want them to not, you know, detach, you can just make the trick of just making a knot, and you just take the things, right, and then you just, you know, make a knot here, right, and then, you know, you do it like this, right, and then when you pull, it's they have this kind of yeah. Then they don't detach if you pull a little in them and all that. It's just kind of. But yeah, all these kind of different plugs are just where you need tools to make the plugs. You know, it's criminal. I think it's so disgusting, and of course, this is the same. You know, it's a disgusting filth we see all over everywhere of insanity. But I don't get it. How can these solar panels be so expensive? I don't get it. Best used and suggested associaries: 12 volt battery charging. So I could charge the 12 volt battery I have, or put it into remote power, ham radio, water purification. Water purification. How's that going to work out? Water purification, power tools. Water purification. How's that working in regards of water purification? Camp lighting, small OC electric coolers, tablet PC, 12 volt male charger adapter. Oh well. Well, anyway, I'll be off for now. Take care, all of you. May Yehovah be with you, and Yeshua, most precious pearl, and Spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. I'll look into further this thing, and you know, it would be interesting to see if you could actually get a lot more out of 30-watt panel in these bad conditions compared to the other things that I've gotten, because it doesn't really look good, you know. And it's interesting, yeah. You know, I can see the battery, the small battery on the 50-watt panel are doing something, right? But it can't be much, but it's doing something.